just saw Age of Bryce, and which means you're probably still laughing and feeling
Hopefully.
fantastic about yourself and life, and maybe even want to call your mom and thank her for not being completely crazy.
Yeah,
But
hopefully.
but we have one of the co-directors, Brian Elliott,
Yep.
right here to do a Q&A with us about Age of Bryce, and maybe his co-director, David Fegan, will be joining us. But either way, we got Brian, and I just want to tell you, I love this movie from start to finish. I
Oh,
think
thanks.
some of my notes are for this Q&A are from the first moment. This film's just the best. You know,
You're
the
well, you're kind.
music choices, your use of color, the action. I mean, a small short about a boy near a pool, and yet there's fantastic sequences that feel like an action sequence. I just think it's enjoyable in every way.
Oh, well, thanks. I appreciate that. That means a lot.
And I read your cover letter. How did this come together? I believe you're actually a film school professor.
I am. And so what happens is every summer we usually do some kind of production workshop. And so when we shoot films, usually I'll hire some professional people to work with me. And that's Dave is a professional sound guy who I invited to co-direct this with me. And then we'll hire a professional DP, a gaffer, sometimes actors, and then the rest of the crew will be students. And so we've shot about 6 feature films that way, and probably those are 5 weeks long. This was probably 5 or 6 days long that we shot in that way. And how it came about is I just realized, I was a kid, maybe like you, that I was pretty freewheeling, run around, bump around, do crazy stuff. And then once I became a parent, I realized almost instantly I turned into the Mel Brooks stereotypical version of what a Jewish mother was. And I'm trying to understand, what is this disconnect between my childhood and this person that I've become who knows too much information and is nervous all the time for their kid. And so I wanted this film to kind of talk about that tension between those two identities, if you will.
And on the screenwriting front, I just I don't think it could be much more clever in dealing with that subject than it is. I mean,
Oh, thanks.
and you got a superb performance out of both Bryce and his mom.
Yeah.
But I want to add that on the screenwriting front, his call to the 911, uh, basically saying my life sucks. Like it's reached emergency levels. I just think it's
Right.
great. I think it's great writing. Um,
Oh, thanks.
so bravo.
Well,
Uh,
thanks. One of the challenges, of course, is stretch it. How much can you stretch it with still staying in the range of making it, somewhat believable while not being believable, kind of outrageous. And so hopefully, I mean, let's be honest, if that young guy, his name is Major Dodson, if he had not been able to do that, I mean, this movie would have tanked quickly. And so he had to do so much stuff without saying a lot of words throughout the movie. This was his one chance to get to have a moment of dialogue. So I thought he did really well.
he did. He carried the film wonderfully, for
Yeah.
sure. And yeah, I mean, it
Is
definitely is. It's over the top and yet completely believable.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully you get the sincere. I mean, like her paranoia, it comes out of a sincere concern, right? Most comedy people would say it comes out of a real place, and so hopefully both of those, you can sense that it's coming out of a genuine place, and you just stretch it, morph it, and do all of that. So yeah, I thought he did a really good job.
Yeah, and you managed to keep the mom hilarious the whole way through. I mean, even as she's running after him, I think one of the things that makes me laugh hardest is when I believe she shouts, "Are you on fire? Is that why you're running?" Like,
Stop, drop, and roll. Yeah, 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 yeah.
just
Yeah, so she's a theater professor at the University of Baylor where I teach, and she's really not. She's not an. She doesn't act a lot. That's not really her go-to thing. But I just thought, man, I think she can do this, and so asked her if she'd do it. She did. I mean, and once we got into it, she was all in. And it feels like she improvises the whole thing. I went through and we realized she probably improvises maybe 10 to 15% of it. Because we realized, when you write it pretty tight. And then you realize, well, I need a little more space to finish this camera move or whatever we're doing. And so we're like, her name is Deanna. I said, Deanna, can you just riff for a while? And she would just go. And it was really fun. So when we first edited the movie, Dave edited the film the first pass, and it was like almost 19 minutes long. And I'm like, Dave, this is like no, way too long. But we realized he had cut for Deanna's performance because it was so entertaining. So we had to re-engineer and realize, well, no, it's his story. Let's cut for his story, not for her story. And so we could shrink it down to less than 10.
So there's 5 to 10 minutes of her being hilarious that
Oh, for
ended up
sure.
not serving the story.
Yes, 100%.
Completely believable. And yeah, and boy, I don't know what your casting process was, but yeah, Major Dodson, first of all, might be the greatest stage name I've ever heard.
No, it sounds totally fake, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? But besides that, he is just out of this world good in this film.
Yeah. It was a little strange because so we're in Texas and we put out the call, for video auditions, and you'll get kids that are cute or whatever, but there's something about it. And then when we saw him, I went, I don't know. I think this is the guy. And of course, every time you're about to lock in a decision, you want to think about it 3 or 4 different times. But he came in, and his mom, she was professional. She wasn't a stage mother, but she let him know this is a real gig. Like this, they're counting on you. And I mean, this little guy, he did it. And the things we didn't anticipate is he's afraid of water. Not great for this movie. He doesn't like bugs. Not great for Texas in the middle of the summer. And he wasn't super excited about jumping into the water at some point. And so it took a little coaxing of him, but eventually we got it and he did fine. So he actually went on to, after our film, he got cast in a Nicolas Cage movie and then had a running part on The Walking Dead. So I'm like, we're the least important thing that he's done in his acting career. So yeah, he's launched and done really well.
Good for him. And yeah, I guess it kind of there's a slight obviously it was also a strength thing, but I noticed mom doing quite the backstroke when he was trying to rescue her.
Yeah, she was helping,
She was
definitely
helping him
helping,
along. But that's
100%.
and I actually even like a role as small as a lifeguard, I think your directing brought a great performance out of that guy.
Well, I'll be honest. He was one of the students that were like, "Who are we gonna grab?" And I go, "He looks like a lifeguard," and he did it and pulled it off. And so, yeah, we thought he did a good job.
And that script too, because I think it's the lifeguard turning to this kid and saying, "Go save him," and
Yeah,
it's just a fun moment of
yeah,
actualization for this kid.
yeah. Hope so. I mean, that's kind of the thing, is trying to figure what's the button of the movie, and so we had to find, what's the next resolve, and it was realized like, oh, he's grown. She's not completely changed, but he's given permission to do the next mission, and it's kind of a call to. Uh, with my own kids, I learned that even though I get nervous for them, how they really stretch and grow is when I set them loose and let them have some adventure in their life. And so uh, that was an opportunity to give him one more adventure at the end of this thing, and now wake up, Dad.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I deal with that at home too. I'm the
Do you?
yeah, yeah. I'm the well. Just let her do what she's doing. If she ends up hurting her hand with that screwdriver, she's gonna learn something. You know.
Yeah.
Whereas her
Right.
mom, her mom is like trying to tell. I'm like, don't tell her how to, you know, but let her figure it out.
Yes.
And they come
Yeah,
through most of the time.
they do. Yeah, I mean, the truth is, when I was a kid, I was super, like, I was literally hit by a pickup truck when I was 5 years old. I I have stitches at least 4 times, broke my arm. Like, I did a lot of ridiculous stuff, and so I'm still here. I'm still bouncing around, and so yeah, we're pretty resilient humanoids.
For sure, we're talking about kids. So, this end up being a great experience for your students that were involved?
Definitely. What we find when kids work with these kinds of workshop productions with professional people that we bring in, that number one, their level of professionalism just goes up about 1,000% because they start to realize, oh, this is how this works. And we only hire people who know us well, who understand what the gig is, that part of their job is not just, say, being the cinematographer, but it's actually mentoring younger people. And so they really get a hands-on experience of someone walking them through. Look, this is how every shot set up. This is what I'm talking to the director about. This is what I'm thinking about. This is what I'm thinking about lighting wise. And that's true for sound and all the other things. And so I think it's really the best opportunity for them to go through this and then decide, do I want this sort of gypsy lifestyle of, making films? And we always say what they lack in experience, they make up for in enthusiasm, which is super important when you're shooting in Texas and it's 100 degrees outside. And you kind of, I'm older than them, obviously, and I'm like, do we really want to do this? And then you see these kids like, let's go, let's do it. And you're like, okay, we're making a movie, let's go. And so it's really a fun collaboration and helps us as much as them. So
And that's a Texas 100, which on the heat index is, I think, way it's not a dry heat.
no, no, no,
Texas
no.
is a
Yeah,
Texas is right up there from the Gulf of Mexico. That's a tough heat.
it's you're dripping wet by the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, sometimes when we're shooting, you put makeup stuff on them. It's you got a tight close up, and you see just nose drip coming down from the sweat that like makeup, do it again. And so that's a very constant for us.
Well, excellent. Well, it's good to know that your students get so much out of it. Are they making productions too? Like, do you end up with a bunch of films that look inspired by this?
We do, and so yeah, so we have our own festival that we run. It's called Black Glasses Film Festival, and that's at the end of every year. Where we have a historic theater here in Texas, Waco, Texas, where Baylor University is. And so the crescendo of their usually senior year is to see if they get in the Black Glasses Film Festival. Not everybody gets in, and then they have a screening for the public, and usually it's sold out. It'll seat about 400 or 500 people, and so they have their film screened in front of 400 or 500 people. And then usually we require them to go ahead and try to submit it some other places so that they can just have that experience of doing things like this, having a Q&A, and how do you communicate about your film. And so it's really been good, and we've had a lot of kids go on. Like, we have a New York program where we have a full-time professor in New York who teaches a full semester. Kids go, and then we have a less official LA program, and so we have a pretty good alumni base of folks that are working in LA and pursuing the career. And a lot of times it starts from their experience with us. So it's a great trade-off, I think.
That's fantastic. And hey, it's from my point of view, it's great that Sherman Oaks Film Festival gets sent just a really well-made, hilarious comedy to share with our audience.
Well,
Um,
we appreciate it. I can't tell you how much this is one of the festivals that you kind of go like, man, I hope we get in this one, because I go to LA a fair amount. Sherman Oaks is just a place that I enjoy. It's obviously a well-respected place in LA. It's a place people congregate. And so when we got in, I was just really, really excited, and obviously disappointed that we won't get to see you guys in person. But I feel like we get to spend more time on each film a lot of times because of this kind of a Q&A than we would if it was six of us standing in front of an audience in a theater. So it works out in different ways.
for sure. Although actually one of our rules is we refuse to be one of those festivals that shows six films, then pull six people up. We show like three or four, and then each person gets their own Q&A. But yeah, it's like 10 minutes or less at that point. So
Yeah. Well, that's huge of you guys to do that, because I'm sure you've experienced it as well, where you're kind of like, you get to answer one and then it kind of goes down the row, and
oh, that's the
yeah, it gets a
worst.
little
That's the
unruly.
worst.
Yeah.
Only thing worse than that is when they say, all right, would the filmmakers stand up from your seats? And they just stand up and kind of do a Princess Di thing and then sit down again. And I'm like,
Yes.
when I see that or when I hear about that, I'm like, that's not a film festival screening. You might as well.
Yes, I
But
had one at a festival with the previous film, a feature that I wrote, and the Q&A started this way. All right, so we don't really have a lot of time, and the truth is, we don't have any time, and I don't have any questions. Does anyone have any questions? I'm like, this is not going to go anywhere. And thankfully, there were a few filmmakers that I had met who were like, "We're going to rescue you, dude," and they started asking questions. But yeah, clearly, the person asking the questions did not really want to be there, and that's okay. It's fine.
Well, that's one reason why we have good reviews, I think, is because we actually care. But
100%. And you can tell from, just the correspondence that you guys give. I mean, there's just a real professionalism to it where we feel like, we're taken care of, which is really appreciated.
no, I appreciate it. These Q&As aren't supposed to be about what a great festival it is, even during COVID, but I definitely appreciate the feedback. Um,
For sure.
is there, before we run, are there any collaborators or any names that deserve a mention?
Sure. Well, I want to make sure I highlight Dave Fagan. So Dave Fagan, as I mentioned, he's a professional sound guy by trade, but he's actually one of the most creative and genius people that I know. And he's very visual. He's the one guy when I would have a script that he was going to do audio on, he would come and always tell me something that I didn't know about the movie, and I would be the guy who wrote it. He just has insight, and so it was really a thrill for me to get him to come in. He's very visual, and so he set a lot of the visual tone of the film. And then, of course, editing it, I felt like he did a really good job. And so, uh, mentioned him. The actors, of course, Deanna Totenbeard and Major Dodson were really important to us as well. And then there's a couple of the students that took on really professional roles. One was named Taylor Epps, who was our associate producer and did a great job. And then Amanda Mott did all the production design. And it's a pretty production design and intense film. And for being somebody who'd never done it before, the fact that she stepped up and did it was really a big deal. So between them and then our cinematographer Damon Crump and our gaffer John Franklin, I just felt like it was a really good cohesive team.
For sure, yeah. I mean, like I said, I think one of the first things I said is just visually the colors and everything. It's got the same level of fun as like a film like Amelie, even to me. It's got
Mm.
that vibrance and that sense of life. So
Well,
uh,
thanks. A lot of that's Dave in the coloring process, so thank you for that.
it did great work. All right. Well,
Mm.
sorry that I got to run, but
Nope.
give my best to everyone involved in this project and let everyone know that our jury loved it and we're grateful to have it be a part of the festival.
We'll shout it out wide and far. And again, thanks so much for including us. It's a big honor.
All right. Well, thank you, Brian.
All right.
All right, bye.
See ya.